What's up, chat? What's up, everybody? This is Quinn here, recording a new video for my mythology channel. Today I want to read some stuff about the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki are a group of beings from out of Sumerian mythology. Now, Sumerian mythology is quite possibly the oldest known mythology in the world, potentially. So it's Sumeria today would be like where Iraq is, the Middle East, that area. They were the very first human civilization that we know of to write down stuff in cuneiform, first writing on clay tablets with reeds. So let's get started on discussing the Anunnaki. So I'm gonna read this real quick. Sorry, my nose is always itching every time I'm recording these videos. Probably anxiety. Alright, so it says the Anunnaki derived from the Sumerian words Danuna or Danuna Kani, meaning princely offspring, or offspring of An, were a group of deities central to the ancient Mesopotamian pantheon. They appeared in the mythologies of the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, often depicted as powerful gods with authority to decree human destinies. These deities were believed to be the offspring of the sky god An and the earth goddess Ki. In early Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were considered the supreme council of divine beings. They were tasked with major decisions that affected both gods and humanity. Alright, so etymology and lineage. The name Anunnaki directly links these deities to their progenitor, An, the sky god, while their connection to Ki identifies them with the earth. Early myths highlight the separation of heaven and earth as a pivotal event carried out by Enlil, one of the Anunnaki and a son of An. Enlil's act of dividing heaven and earth signified the beginning of the world's order. This lineage positioned the Anunnaki as certified figures in the cosmic hierarchy, embodying the forces that govern creation and the natural world. Alright, worship and iconography. Unlike many other deities, the Anunnaki were not typically worshipped as a singular collective. Each deity within this group maintained an individual cult. Evidence of their worship is sparse, possibly due to the focus on individual gods like Enlil or Inanna rather than the Anunnaki as a whole. Depictions of the Anunnaki were rare, and no unified representation of the group exists. Mesopotamian deities were anthropomorphic. Wow, I haven't seen that word in a long time. Didn't realize that was so difficult to say. Dang. Excuse me. Alright, so anthropomorphic, often wearing horn caps, symbolizing divinity in garments adorned with gold and silver. They eluded Malam, an aura of divine splendor that inspired awe and fear. The Anunnaki occupy a central place in Mesopotamian mythology, serving as both creators and judges, celestial beings, and underworld rulers. Their temples, viewed as earthly residents of the gods, house cult statues treated as physical embodiments of the divine. These statues were clothed, fed, and transported in elaborate ceremonies, reinforcing the gods' connection to both the spiritual and material realms. Their role in mythology. The Anunnaki first appeared in library texts during the reign of Gudea in the third dynasty of Ur. In these early records, they were described as the most powerful deities, including prominent gods like Enlil, Enki, Inanna. So while the Sumerian texts often referred to the Anunnaki as a group, the exact number and roles of its members varied across myths. In the poem Enki and the World Order, the Anunnaki are depicted as subordinates to Enki, honoring him and participating in the divine administration of the cosmos. Another myth, Inanna's descent to the netherworld, presents the Anunnaki as underworld judges who condemn the goddess Inanna for her hubris, illustrating their role as arbiters of divine and mortal law. While the roles of the Anunnaki evolved across different cultures and periods, their significance as mediators between gods and humanity remained constant. Major Sumerian gods, including members of the Anunnaki, were tied to celestial bodies. Inanna was associated with Venus, Utu with the sun, Nana with the moon, On governed the stars and the equatorial sky, while Enlil and Enki presided over the northern and southern skies respectively. These celestial connections reflected the gods' omnipotence and their influence over both cosmic and earthly domains. That's pretty cool. So let's keep scrolling. Let's read a little bit more on this. I'm going to skip past that. That's a lot. I want to get to some of the cooler stuff. Keep scrolling. It's just different interpretations of other cultures about the Anunnaki. So this is pretty interesting. Let's read this part of it. Extraterrestrial beings and other pseudo-archaeological theories. In modern times, the Anunnaki have been subject of numerous pseudo-archaeological theories. Eric von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods, proposed that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth in antiquity, inspiring the development of human civilizations. Zachariah Sitchin. Okay, I know who that is. I don't know why I said Zachariah. Zachariah Sitchin expanded on this idea in the 1976 book, The 12th Planet, claiming that the Anunnaki were advanced aliens from a planet called Nibiru, who created humans as a slave race to mine gold. These speculative theories, widely discredited by historians and archaeologists, have nonetheless influenced conspiracy theories and popular cultures. David Icke's reptilian conspiracy theory identifies the Anunnaki as shape-shifting reptilian overlords who manipulate human affairs. That would be pretty terrifying if it was true, but I'm skeptical. I mean, it could be true, but mythology, take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times mythology is not literal, but there's an idea or a lesson or some sort of unique aspect of knowledge to be gained from it that is exploring the human nature and psychology and sociology. But I digress. Let me get back to the topic at hand. So let's see. That's a pretty boring chunk. Let's scroll past it. Alright, so what does the name Anunnaki actually mean? Well, let me get a drink of water. Your boy getting thirsty. My mouth getting dry from reading too much. No, I think I'm still dehydrated where I was freaking food poisoning the past 2 days. That's some high quality H2O right there. Alright. So what does the name Anunnaki mean? The name derives from the Sumerian An, which means sky, meaning princely offspring or offspring of An. What is the Anunnaki's role in mythology? Initially, the Anunnaki were seen as powerful heavenly deities governing fate. In later myths, they are portrayed as, never seen that word in my life, Sithonic. It means underworld deities, judges, or participants in key mythological narratives like Inanna's descent and Enki and the world of order. Okay, who are their most notable members? Members of renown include On, Enlil, Enki, Ninhursag, Nanna, Utu, and Inanna. Those are really unique names. I like those. Alright. How were the Anunnaki worshipped? The Anunnaki lacked a unified cult. Individual members had their own temples and priests. Their statues were I'm sorry, y'all. Their statues were treated as divine embodiments, clothed, fed, and transported for rituals and festivals. Alright, connections to celestial bodies. Deities linked to the Anunnaki were associated with celestial entities. Inanna with Venus, Utu with the sun, Nanna with the moon, and others with constellations or cosmic realms. Let's see what myths are involved. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm struggling to read today. I think I'm thinking faster than I can read, so I need to slow down. All right. So, what myths involve the Anunnaki? In Inanna's descent, 7 Anunnaki serve as underworld judges in the Epic of Gilgamesh. They are linked to the Great Flood. The Enuma Elish assigns them roles in the underworld and acknowledges their construction of Marduk's temple. What are some modern interpretations of the Anunnaki? Pseudo-scientific theories suggest the Anunnaki were extraterrestrials who created humans as a slave race. Mainstream scholars dismiss these ideas as pseudo-archaeology, noting deliberate misinterpretations of Mesopotamian text. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm usually a better reader. Today, I'd be struggling a little bit. Alright, let's scroll down. Was that it? Well, dang, I guess we read that whole thing. So we learned today that, the Anunnaki were gods of the Sumerian mythology that came from Nibiru is another planet somewhere else, that they came here and interacted with humanity or created humanity from potentially primitive beings that were already here in an effort to have slave labor. God, I cannot speak today, man. But anyways, that's pretty interesting. Kind of scary too. If there's any truth to be had in that, that's kind of terrifying a little bit. But interesting nonetheless. So that was my reading on some stuff about the Anunnaki today. I really appreciate y'all stopping by. Please, come back tomorrow. Check out my channel. I try to post one video, one short every day. Trying to get better at this thing. I've got 4 subscribers now. Had 3 the other day, so big things are happening. Stay tuned. I'll try to make the channel better. I'll try to do longer videos or make better quality content, learn as I go kind of thing. But for those of you watching, I appreciate y'all. Stay safe, stay free, stay healthy and wise. Peace out, my friends.